If you park at the Mission Valley Target and walk to the back of the lot, there's a grate in the asphalt. Look down, that's the San Diego River, the same river that founded San Diego in 1769. In 1961, property owners walked into city council and asked them to kill an open river parkway because an 850-foot natural channel would hurt their land values. The council said yes, this is what they showed. You can stand on the river and never know it. The San Diego River runs 52 miles from the Vulcan Mountains to the ocean, but through Mission Valley it flows underground beneath the parking lots and the hotels that sit on top of the old riverbed today. That river is the reason Mission San Diego de Alcalá was founded here in July of 1769, and for over a century it supplied most of the city's water. By the 1950s and 1960s, the valley wasn't a mission farm anymore, and it turned into a corridor. Interstate 8 cut through the floor, and development followed fast. The May Company spent $25 million on its shopping center, and developers planned a $27 million stadium, while assessed valuations jumped as much as 1,500% in 6 years. Land values climbed fast, and Charles Brown had a specific problem with FF Friends Open River. Brown had bought 22.5 acres for $79,000 and built the Town and Country Hotel, and he figured land on Hotel Circle would soon run $125,000 a frontage acre. An open river parkway put that number at risk. When Brown evaluated the site in the early 50s, he later said the only alleged disadvantage seemed to be fear of flood. He built anyway. In 1958, the city council hired FF Friend, a consulting hydraulic engineer, to report on flood control. The valley turned into a commercial corridor, and the river that built the mission and fed the city for a century now stood in the way. Friend pointed out the need for flood zones and urged a 250-foot wide unlined channel. He wanted the valley to complement Mission Bay with a motorboat canal, scenic roadways, and bridle paths. It became a river parkway, not a concrete ditch. But in 1959, the Army Corps of Engineers completed a different report. They drew up a concrete-lined rectangular channel about 5.2 miles long and 200 to 250 feet wide. Two different futures for the valley sat on paper, and only one side was showing up at city council with lobbyists. Developers filled the valley with hotels, malls, and parking structures long before the two plans ever hit paper. Freeway 80 cost $15 million between Taylor Street and Fairmount Avenue, and it reoriented the entire valley around regional mobility. Brown wasn't alone. Every hotel owner and shopping center investor on Hotel Circle was running the same math in his head, and Friends Open River threatened every bit of it. They didn't want an 850-foot natural channel running through their investments. An 850-foot swale means a low, wide channel that handles natural drainage without concrete walls, and that much open land would have been undevelopable. Back in 1958, the editor of San Diego magazine had already called it. He wrote that Friend's plan was the right one, non-political and non-commercial, but warned it would get buffeted by commercial pressure groups. By 1961, his warning had played out exactly. In 1961, property owners in Mission Valley asked the city council to support the narrow concrete-lined channel because they felt the wide, unlined 850-foot swale suggested by FF Friend would harm their property value. They weren't subtle about it. Brown and the other property owners walked into the chamber with lobbyists, appraisals, and maps showing exactly how much revenue the swale would cost them. And they told the council flat out that an open river parkway would leave 850 feet of land undevelopable. The San Diego Union was there. On March 29, 1961, the paper ran a story on the meeting, page 1, city section. That article is the receipt. It names the people in the room, quotes the appraisals, and records the vote. You can pull the microfilm at the downtown library and read it yourself. That much open space meant parking lots they couldn't build and hotel wings they couldn't expand. That's the smoking gun. The council agreed, and they rejected Friend's natural channel before it ever had a chance, throwing their weight behind the concrete ditch that the developers wanted. The vote was not close, and the natural parkway died in that room. Developers won the argument, and the river lost. It cleared every federal hurdle over the next 4 years. In October of 1965, President Johnson signed it into law. The price tag, $22.3 million. Mission Valley was supposed to be safe. The flood problem had a solution. Developers got the channel they paid for. Everyone could build. Then the money ran out. In 1966, Congress cut the construction funding, and the 1971 Journal of San Diego History calls it a casualty of the Vietnam War. The $22.3 million channel never saw construction, and the federal money never reached San Diego. The developers didn't wait for Congress because the land was too valuable to leave empty. By then it didn't matter, because the valley was already paved with shopping centers and hotels built on the riverbed, while the government was still debating the walls. May Company Mission Valley built with riprap rock around the entire shopping center because the developers never planned to wait for Congress. It sits on the riverbed. They designed it so that parking sits underneath and the shops sit on the second level. Pumps run constantly to push normal drainage out into nearby ditches, and in case of a major flood, the parking area would be 5 feet underwater. City engineer Ed Gabrielson estimated $24.8 million in damage if a 1966 flood hit, and the county civil defense office warned that San Diego was long overdue for a major flood. The city added flood control zones to its zoning ordinance in 1966, and every permit has to show flood areas clearly marked. But construction continued anyway, and the river that founded the mission in 1769 now runs beneath parking lots and retail corridors, where you can't see it flow today. The pumps run day and night to keep the water moving, and every new building sits on top of the old floodplain. Today, redevelopment is reshaping the valley again, but the river still moves beneath the surface just as it did when the Padres first watered their fields more than 200 years ago. Right now, under that parking lot, the pumps are running to keep water out of a basement that was never supposed to flood. The river didn't disappear because of engineering. It disappeared because property owners in 1961 convinced the city council that an open river parkway would hurt their land values. And the channel they fought for, the $22.3 million concrete ditch, was never even built. They paved the valley for nothing. Receipts are still on file. If you want more case files, subscribe to San Diego Uncovered.